Do I believe in God? What God? How do you define God? Do I don't believe? I don't know. I float around. The moment I say that you need to deal with faith and religion and everything, I know my left friends will come and tell me, but it's what about gender discrimination? What about casteism? Of course it's all there. But you can't deal with it if you're not willing to put yourself in that place of faith. Faith is a human need. Faith is hope.
Are you an atheist? Are you a heretic? Are you a believer? What are you a believer in?
I don't even find a necessity to actually describe myself as any
Sure,
of
but
that.
I meant that, so what is your relationship with music and religion, religious music in particular?
So I think that's an important question, and especially today's context, in culture, art, music, religion, faith.
Yeah.
I think that is something that the progressive world needs to seriously think about. Because, do I believe in God? What God? How do you define God? Do I don't believe? I don't know. I float around. Depends on the day, depends on whether I need God or not. If I need God, then I need God that day. Simple. If I go to a temple, sometimes I'm moved. I don't need to explain to myself why I'm moved. I don't need to explain to anybody. Some days I find it absolutely immaterial to my life, but that's beautiful. But the problem is I think we have to reflect and be self-critical. That we have created an environment, a conversation, a kind of a messaging in the progressive world that faith and belief in religion is somehow something lesser. That it somehow is something lower than the rational, constitution-believing citizen. This is deeply problematic. In fact, the right-wing bigots have been able to exactly pick on this and create today a chasm between what is democratic India and what is civilizational India. Civilizational India and democratic India, you don't need a chasm between the two. The reason is we have failed in creating a healthy discourse. How do I deal with, say, ritual? Forget about faith. Every one of us have rituals. Every community, every member has a ritual, and they believe in it. So how does one find a discourse of equality, of equity, of fraternity, of socialism, of secularism? These are just words, but how does one create a discourse in society of culture that doesn't always present itself as being superior to this way of living? Because this is our way of living. That is important today.
And yet you say that art must always be subversive.
Oh, yeah.
So how must it subvert this conversation?
Our job is much harder. Because the moment I say that you need to deal with faith and religion and everything, I know my left friends will come and tell me, but it's what about gender discrimination? What about casteism? Of course it's all there. But you can't deal with it if you're not willing to put yourself in that place of faith. Faith is a human need. Faith is hope. Without faith, we will not get up the next morning and hope that something better will happen. Whether Rama is my faith, Allah is my faith, Jesus is my faith, or Constitution is my faith, it's still a faith. I know you will say you can't compare the two. I am going to place all four together because it is something I trust. And whether you think it's bogus or not is immaterial to me. So how am I going to create a discourse in that so that you can still speak about all the ugliness that's around us, but also find respect? Every individual wants to be respected for what they believe in. This is a challenge for the progressives in India. What we are experiencing today should lead us to a point where we try and create an entirely new way of understanding ourselves.